Hey everyone, Jody from Bird Dog Off-Road Adventures here. Today we're going to show you how we install our new Morimoto taillights. Stay tuned. Okay, so here we're going to get unboxing done. So these are the Morimoto XB LED taillights for the 2021 and up Ford Broncos. Some of our friends have these. One of our friends, Bill, from the Arizona Broncos Club, had them on his. That's the first time I really got to see them in person. But one of the things that really stuck out to me is that they are what they call low profile, which I don't think there's any other aftermarket lights like that. There's the Oracle that sits flush with the body, but these are kind of in between. They're not completely flush, but they're not as far out as the stock. So when our brake light on one of our previous cheap knockoff lights that we put on it went out, we decided, well, might as well just go ahead and upgrade. So we reached out to our friends at Phantom Motorworks, and they had a deal on these. So we'll put a link down below to their site so you can get these for yourself. I've had a lot of good luck with them. They're really good people, very good customer service. I've actually met them at Supercell East a few times whenever I've lived back east. And I like giving business to people who stand by the stuff they sell. So if you're in the market for these or many other things, I'd highly recommend you check them out. Reach out to them directly sometimes. If you reach out to them directly, they'll work with you on some stuff. Now, I did pay for these, so these aren't given to me for free. So let's go ahead and get this unboxing done, and then I can show you guys what they look like. And then later on, we'll go and show you how they install. So it comes with a little sheet here. It has some QR codes on it. I'm assuming these are for instructions, so that's pretty neat. We'll set those to the side for now. Some good padding here. And we're right here on them. So they come in a plastic bags, which you expect. We'll pull them out, or at least one side of them. So like that. And I'm not going to take this plastic off, and the reason why yet is because you don't want to take this protective plastic film off until after you've installed them. That way, if you do drop them or, God forbid, bump them into something, it will keep it from scratching up your taillight lens. So I try to leave these on when possible. Now I did get the smoke version. They do have a red lens version, which these are more red like the factory lights are. But I like to have the smoke version. That's just my preference, but you can pick whichever one you want. And they do have some connections here. This is the connection that goes into the factory part. And I'm not sure what this is yet. So it's another connector. Maybe the resistor, which I don't see. But it may be down here because I think these things have magnetic resistors. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's where I read somewhere. Oh, there they are. So pulled the other side out, and we got the magnetic resistors. So depending on what taillights your Bronco came with, you may or may not have to use these. Mine came with the LED signature taillights because mine has a Lux package and is a Badlands. So I'll have to use these. It keeps that from hyper flashing. So look and see which ones you have. If you have the non-LED ones, I don't think you need these. I could be wrong on that. Look at the instructions to make sure. But if you do have the LED ones, my understanding is that you have to connect these on each side of that cord I just showed you. And these got magnets on them, which is pretty cool. So you can just like pop it up against the body somewhere. Get them out of the way once you connect them. That way they're out of the way. You don't have to worry about it. Here's the other light. There again, I'm not going to take that plastic out because I don't want to, in case when I go to install it, if I screw something up by, like I said, God forbid I drop it. It'd be a bad idea to put a cushion under it if you have it. You have the opportunity to. Pretty much the same story as the other one. Now this one does have an extra cord into it. So I'll have to look and see what that is for. There's a little tag on here as well, which I don't know what this has. Now it's just like a tag like you get in your car or stuff, or like your clothes. So interestingly, so it has the lights switch over here. It has the resistor light, and it has this other light. So I'm not sure what this other light is for. Could be for like maybe, if you have another type of lights. It looks kind of like the Wolf Box connections, but it's not the same one. It doesn't have as many pins. Now we will use our hammer built kit, and it'll plug in here, and it'll have that Y. We'll deal with all that when we go to install it. I just want to kind of show this stuff to you guys. We'll put it back in the box here. Once we get ready to put it on, we'll put the camera up, show you how we do that. I don't anticipate it being much difficult than the previous ones we've done, so shouldn't take us long at all. It's just a matter of taking the stock ones off and the body panels off to get these on. So let me put this back in here. We'll put our resistors back in their bag, and then that's it. We just got to go out and put it on. Once we get it put on, we'll test them out, see how they look. Can't wait to see how they look on there. I think these will be a good addition to the Bronco. And like I said before, if you want your own, we'll put a link below, Panda Motorworks, and you know, maybe you can get you some too if you want to. Anyway, hang tight. Well, for our situation, it's a little bit different than everybody else's. Everybody else's, you would just take these fender flares off. For us, we took a 4mm hex head, took this rear bolt of the Anderson Composites fender release out, loosened up the next two over to where we could pull this out to get our fingers back in there to pull this out. And then we just got to carefully just pull this thing off. You know, it just pops out, so you just want to make sure that you're nudging it, nudging it, nudging it, and then it'll eventually come off. There we go. All right, so we made a boo-boo. This was supposed to come off with that, but it did not. So what we're going to have to do, in case you all have this happen to you, we're going to clean this up. That's the way it's supposed to go in there, but right now, there's nothing holding on. That's weird. I've never seen that happen before. This vehicle's 4 years old, so I guess I shouldn't say it's a surprise. So we'll figure out a way to get this stuff back on, and we'll pop this on. Hope this doesn't happen to y'all, but like I said, our vehicle's pretty old. It's the oldest Bronco model there is out there still. And maybe I just pulled it wrong. I don't know. It's kind of weird. You'll notice we got a lot of wire here. That's because of that hammer built thing. I'm going to be honest with you. There's not a good way to take these things out. You're either lucky and they come right out, or you end up having to pull them out and buy new ones. I bought these a long time ago. Replacements for these. And then you have some bolts over here. I think these are 10mm. We're ready to get this off here. There we go. All right, so we got this trim piece out. All right, so there is a 10mm bolt you got to take out. It's way back in here, and I know the camera can't see it, but you just look in the general direction. It's underneath this last hole here. But you got to take it out to remove this piece. There we go. We got the bolt over here off the side out. So now we're going to use our 8mm to try to get these bolts in here to disconnect the tail light itself. All right. So I'm going to unplug from that one. So we just basically plug this in and do everything in reverse of what we just did, and then we should be good to go. They do recommend using some dielectric grease, which we have a pack here. All right, now we got this little piece open. We're just going to dab some in here. We want to make sure that we don't go too crazy, but we want to make sure that we have a little grease, make sure we got some good connectivity. And we'll do that for the other side as well. Now, if we were doing the resistors, we would also do it with those. So we're going to go ahead and plug this up out here. All right, and you heard that click a little bit maybe. And then you got to feed this in here. And this is the part where it can get kind of tricky. Oh, there we go. We're getting it in there somewhat. Other than just putting these bolts in. We won't put it in too tight because we want to make sure we get the other stuff in too. This will get kind of tricky as well, as you want to make sure that you obviously don't want to make that go away. Take the plastic off. These are definitely recessed more. All right, so one thing left to do now is put this middle piece back in, put this other trim piece on. We're not going to do that right now because we're going to doctor that piece that I apparently took off by accident. And we'll go from there, but we're going to jump to the other side. All right, so we put some super glue on the same spots. You can see some of it seeping out there. We got it clamped down. It's actually a Loctite super gel. So we got it clamped down. We're going to let it sit like that for a few minutes before we put this thing back on. And hell, hope it holds on there. I don't know what else to do. Unless they buy a whole other piece, which if I did that, I'm sure I'd have to get it painted or at least have to get the PPF put on it so it won't stick out and not match the rest of the truck. So,
all right, a quick comparison of the new versus the old, the Morimoto on the right and the old Mobbit Raptor style on the left. So you can see just some subtle differences here, but the big difference is going to be that clearance on the back of the Morimotos.
On what we've done so far, we've took these buttons here, the little screws with the things. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. You got a 10mm sockets. Nuts you got to take out right here and right here. And then after that, this piece comes off. Then we'll have to go out here and do the other ones. It's pretty much the same as the passenger side, except a lot easier as far as taking this piece off. No, I did not break this piece loose on this side, so I don't know how the hell I did it. Another one. Same thing, this, just popped it right out. And like I was saying is that the only thing that uses the 8mm bolts is this, and this up here. I already plugged the light. The bolt that holds this piece of trim on the bottom, as well as the bolt over here, are both 10mm sockets. So this 8mm, we're going to do this, take it out, get it on there. There we go. Here, and then we should just be able to pull this off. Yep, there it is. Unlike the other cheap taillights you get off Amazon, like the Mobbit ones here and some of the other ones, you don't have this bracket back here. It's from the factory taillight. You don't have to take this off and use it for the Morimotos. You just simply swap it back on. We'll make sure we hold this cord up so it doesn't fall down anywhere or anything as we push this on. Now, real quick, I'm going to go ahead and start threading one of these holes in so that light doesn't fall out. No, I got to be in the way to do that. Sorry about that. We're going to go ahead and plug in our light. There you go. Hear that click? Did you hear that click? You're good. All right, so this light here is that bar thing. We're not going to use it, so we're just going to take it back in here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put this back out here. Yeah, lines up perfectly. Now, one thing we're going to do before we start throwing all this stuff on here is we're going to go up there and turn the truck on. Make sure these things work good, too, because we want to make sure we don't do all this hard work and have to take everything back off again. Well, looks like they work to me. Awesome, man. These are beautiful. Awesome. Looks good. Put this bolt back down here. Pop this bad boy back on. We're all done, folks. Looks pretty good.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We enjoyed making it, and thank you to our friends over at Panda Motorworks for getting these out to us pretty quick. We'll put a link down below to their website and to these lights. I highly recommend it if you off-road a lot, even if you just don't like, even if the looks don't sell you, just that extra clearance so you're not banging up against rocks with your taillights, or even if you have stuff on the tailgate that might hit it. I think these are beautiful. I love them to death, and I definitely would get them again if I had to. So I would highly recommend them. So please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. We hope to see you around for more videos to come.